everybody, it's Karen here. I hope you're all doing well, keeping busy and staying safe. Today I've got a video about making a time capsule. A time capsule is a special box where you put lots and lots of things that relate to your life, particularly the year, so 2020. All things that are going on in your world goes into the box, you seal it up, and you put it away somewhere where it's not going to be found for some time. And then after a period of time, it could be even years, you open it up and have a look at all the things that were put there. And I'm sure there'll be lots and lots of changes. And it's always interesting to see how things have moved on in the world, even from a couple of years previously. So some time capsules are left a year, some are 5 years, some are 10 years, some are even longer. The longer you leave your box, the more exciting surprises you're going to discover and you've forgotten about when you open it up. So first things first, we're going to start with the box to begin with. Now, the best box for this is a box which isn't going to get damp and is going to be nice and sturdy and strong, because sometimes time capsules are even buried in the garden. So remember and ask permission first if you're going to do that, and always mark the spot so you remember. But if you move house, you can dig it up and move to the next garden. Or if you haven't got a garden, perhaps you put it in the loft, or maybe very high up in a cupboard that you don't normally use, or something like that. And it can stay there for a while until you're ready to open it again. So a good sturdy box. The best one really is a Tupperware box, because that's airtight and also it's waterproof and it's quite sturdy. So this one here is a sort of generous size lunch box, I would say, and it's got a nice tightly fitting lid that's going to seal on really, really well. So it's nice and strong, it's nice and sturdy, and it's airtight. Okay, so the next bit is what we put inside the box. Now, this would be your time capsule, so you can put in anything at all which is important to you or relevant to you in your life. But remember, it's also nice to include what's going on around about you in the world as well. So you want a nice, fun mix of different things. So I'm going to just have some suggestions here, things that I'm going to put in my time capsule, and it might spark some ideas for you so that you can go on and invent your own, do your own. So the first thing I'm going to put in mine are some family photographs. So these are photographs of all my pets, my animals, my family. I thought that might be quite nice. Some of my favourite places that I go, and different successes and different things that have happened this year. So I'm going to put those in. But before I just throw them in the box, actually, the important thing to say is that when things go in the box, even though they're sealed up, it's a good idea to put them inside another bag. Something like a zip seal bag is quite good, because you know then you're sealing out all the moisture, particularly for things that are paper-based. So we've got photographs. I'm also going to put in some letters. So these are some important letters that I've had that I would like to keep from people from members of my family. So I'm going to put them in as well, which would be quite nice to discover and read in the future. I'm also going to put in some of my favourite things, like my favourite chocolate biscuits, which happen to be a Kit Kat. Now, we can't put food in because they would perish. So this is just the wrapper. But it's fun to see sometimes how wrappers for sweets and chocolate and food and things that we eat, how they change through the years. So it'll be quite interesting to see if Kit Kat wrapper still looks the same when I actually unearth this box in a few years' time. So Kit Kat wrapper's going in there. I'm also going to put in a little box here, a box of sweets that I like particular. There's no sweets in it again, remember, just empty packet, but it's quite often fun to see how packets change and things. So that I'm going to put that in as well. I'm also going to put in some little mementos of family holidays and things as well, which might be quite nice, which reminds me of some holidays. It's holiday to Cornwall. There's a camper van, little silver camper van there. It doesn't need to go in anything because it's just made of metal, so it should be fine if it's sealed in. But you could think of lots of other things that mean something to you that you could put in your box. Perhaps a sort of music that you're listening to just now. You might even have a CD that you could part with. Maybe it's one that you've listened to for ages and you're a bit fed up with it. Might be quite nice to put that in, so that when you open the box, you can remember what sort of music was around and what were the best bands and what were the bands and things that you liked, or the artists that you like. So you could put in a CD. The now what we call music CDs are quite good. Something like that you could pop in, and again that should be okay as it is. Perhaps you've got a cartoon character that you particularly like, or a character from a film or animation, a movie. It could be something to do with your gaming, something that you like, a little character or something. So that might go in as well, something like that. There's this little chap here, something like that might go in. Anything at all that means something to you, but it's about what you're doing at this minute in time, okay, in 2020. Now, because we're talking about all of those things, it might be an idea to include something that explains a little bit about coronavirus. Now, hopefully, by the time this box is opened and unearthed in a few years' time, we'll have a cure. And we can look back and think, gosh, that was a scary time. It was great we all were safe and did our social distancing and washed our hands and were careful. But isn't it good now that they've got a cure for it? So you never know. Fingers crossed that that might be the case. So we could put in some information about coronavirus. That might be to do with the lockdown that you're going through just now, or to do with all the wonderful work that the NHS and the frontline workers are all busy keeping everybody safe and working so hard to make sure that we all stay well. So you might want to put in something to do with that. It could be something like a newspaper cutting, or it might be front page of a newspaper that you could do that related to that. So that goes in my plastic bag, just in case that gets damp. Put that in there with the other things. Okay, I've got a little leaflet here. This is a leaflet that came through. Sorry, it's back to front because of the camera. This is a leaflet that came through from the government all about coronavirus and how to keep safe. I've actually got 2 of these, so I'm able to part with one and put it in there as well, because that might explain a lot of things that we'd forgotten in a few years' time about how difficult the time was and how hard we all had to work to make sure we were safe and well. So I'm going to put that in there too. I'm also going to include something to do with how much things cost, because prices change through the years tremendously, and it'd be quite interesting to see when I open the box in a few years' time if prices have changed any, if they've gone up or down, or what's happened. So I've got a little flyer that came through my door the other day, and it's got lots of prices of food and things on it, just pint of milk and bread and various other, a block of cheese, different things like that that we always use every day. So that would be quite interesting to put that in as well and see how much the prices change. There we are, that goes in the plastic bag. Now the last thing I'm going to put in is something to do with technology, because I think technology is changing so much all the time. And it's amazing even to look back a few years ago at the mobile phones and things they were using and have a bit of a giggle at how old-fashioned they look. So technology is moving forward so quickly that I thought it might be quite fun to have something to do something to do with that. So what I'm going to do is I've got a little leaflet from our Echo Dot. So this isn't the instruction leaflet, thank goodness, because remember, you need to keep that with your box. But this is just a little leaflet about setting it up. So that's something that I feel I could part with. So I'm going to put that in. And when we open the box, that'll be quite fun to think back about what that is and what that was all about. Goodness knows in the future, we might not have things like Echo Dots anymore. We might have holograms or something instead, where we ask a robot to do something and a hologram of our favourite characters all appear in front of us. Goodness knows. But it's fun to track the progress, so that's going in. One last thing, actually, while I remember, is I'm going to put some coins in, because just now, obviously, we have coins and we have notes that we use, but there is a move that eventually we may move towards a coinless society, where we just use pieces of plastic, where we use our contactless cards. Who knows? But anyway, even if we do still have coins, they'll probably change from what they look like just now. So I'm going to put those in as well. It's a bag of coins. So all the things go in safely to my box. Okay. Now, one last thing I'm going to do for the box before I seal it all up is I'm going to put the year on the front of the box. Now, again, sorry guys, this is round back to front just because of the camera. But I found some stickers, some number stickers, and I've stuck those on. But you could write with a permanent marker pen, or you could design something, a nice label or something like that, and stick it onto the front of the box, whatever you want. So everything's in safe. I'm going to snap the lid shut, and then I'm going to wrap it up, and I'm going to wrap it up really well because we don't want any damp and moisture or anything to get into it. So I'm going to wrap it up in lots and lots of layers of plastic. I'm going to start with some bubble wrap just to make sure it stays safe. If you don't have any bubble wrap, you could just use a really strong plastic carrier bag maybe, or a bin liner. And when you're wrapping it up, you need to do this really, really well with a plastic-based tape. So something like sellotape's okay, but even better is something like insulation tape. So you might find some of that at home, and it's a kind of plastic-based tape, and it's much stronger. The other type of tape is called duct tape, and again, if you ask at home, you never know, you might have some at home, and it's a really thick, very strong plastic-based tape that they use for doing electrical work, and that's really good as well. But something nice and strong that's not going to let any water in and keep everything nice and airtight. So I'm going to start wrapping up the first layer, and when I've done the first layer, then I'm going to wrap in another layer. So I've got some nice thick black plastic and some clear plastic, and I'm going to layer everything up, 2 or 3 layers. So I'll show you in a minute when I finish doing that. So here's our time capsule all wrapped up. So it's got lots of layers of plastic on it, and you can see it's well wrapped up with lots of tape all round about it. So hopefully nothing will get inside that, no damp and no moisture will get inside that, and hopefully it will keep in perfect condition for when it's opened up in the years to come. Have a go yourself, guys. It's a really good fun project to do. Have a lot of fun with it. Let us know how you get on. Let us know what you've put inside your time capsule, and let us know. Send us some pictures of what it looks like when you're putting it together and when it's all wrapped up, ready to get hidden somewhere. Okay, thanks a lot. See you soon. Bye.